Hello YouTube, it's Collectible Contraptions here for another deck check video, and this time I've actually gotten a request to build a themed deck from MLP 2000. Is that how you pronounce your name? I'm sorry if it's wrong, I'm terrible at names. It's a work in progress, because I'm not flawless. Okay, that song doesn't really work with that rewording. Anyway, if you can't tell, I'm really loopy. It's school started up again and I'm really tired, so whatever. But this will be pretty fun. So, he mainly wants, he or she, I don't actually know. I don't want to accidentally call you the wrong one. Anyway, MLP 2000 requested that I make a Team Starlight deck, aka he or she wants to use the Starlight Glimmer main, which is an ultra rare, and then make the rest of the deck themed to just Starlight and her friends, like her closest friends. I mean, the main six are definitely close friends, but they're not her closest friends, because we've obviously seen her interact with Trixie, Maud, Thorax, Discord, and Sunburst far more closely than the main six. This could work, and I'm rather curious to see how I could get it to work. So that's what we're going to be working on today. This is not at all a competitive deck. This is a it's not designed to be ultra competitive. The thing with themed decks is you're limiting your card pool to some good cards and some not so good cards, so it averages out at about mediocre at best. So it's not ultra competitive, but hey, I promised I'd do both competitive and silly fun decks. So this is one of those silly, wacky fun decks. I've also got another idea for another wacky deck that I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but we're not going to do that today. We'll do that another time. Anyway, I want to get this done as fast as possible because I do have other videos I want to record and upload, but let's see. So, Starlight Glimmer main, that would be... there she is. Time of her life. So, first off, we notice she has a confront to flip requirement. So, in order to boost her, we've got to confront a problem. So obviously, we want to choose a starting problem that probably won't be too hard to confront. Let's see though. I've already gone to the Royal Archive and tabbed a whole bunch of her friends and Starlight cards so that I can work with what we've got. The interesting thing about this is it's going to be a tricolor deck because Starlight is mainly in purple. Trixie is purple but dabbles in orange and white. Thorax is mainly yellow, and Discord is in, like, every color. We might splash into a few of his stranger colors if we need to, but I do try to avoid doing that because it does make the deck a little more inconsistent, and consistency is really key to making a deck work well. If you're drawing the wrong color entry at the wrong time, then you're just toast. So, and Sunburst, well... they've only got one card in the game with him at the moment. I'm hoping that changes after season, in the next set release, because, well, Season 7 gave them a lot of Sunburst to use, which is really cool. And then Maud, who's mostly in orange and a little bit of pink. So this is going to be interesting. It might end up being even quad color, which would be crazy, but okay. So she needs to confront the flip. So obviously, we want to play relatively inexpensive friends early in the game so to an easy-to-confront starting problem to get her boosted like that. But there is a catch to that, and that is her boosted ability is amazing, but to be honest, we'd rather use it later in the game, which is what makes her a difficult main to build with, because... see, when she turns face up for the first time each game, there's an additional ready phase before your next end phase. Basically what that means is, before your end phase, which is where you discard cards to hand size and discard cards to home limit issues, after problems have faced off, after the problem face-offs are done and after all that's taken care of, that just means you can ready cards that have already been exhausted, and you can gain action tokens and draw a card. So obviously, boosting her when you gain 5 action tokens is probably the ideal time to do so because, well, you get 5 action tokens. That's a lot of good ones. Plus you draw a card, and you ready your cards. The problem with that is that means we're going to have alternate methods of getting into our purple because she's not going to be boosted, so we're only going to have 1 purple requirement in game at the start. So this is an interesting deck building challenge. Thankfully, she's got another version of herself, Starlight Glimmer, Apprentice Sorcerer, that can only be played with 1 rack, which is pretty cool. Starlight is messing with the timeline again, I guess, because this is her as a full. Perhaps this is one of those alternate universes. The rest of her cards are either troublemakers or they don't have, or they're too expensive of a purple requirement. But thankfully, having our main Starlight and Apprentice Sorcerer Starlight will give us enough purple requirement to play pretty much every other version of Starlight except for this one. And well, this has an amazing ability. So expensive. 8 AT. Ugh. Sure, you can reduce that to 3 by discarding a Starlight card, which actually might work for this deck, because we're going to be playing, well, lots of Starlight cards. So I might just throw that in there for the fun of it, but again, it's an ultra rare. But since you're wanting to use the Starlight Glimmer main as it is, I'm assuming you've got a decent amount of ultra rares. Like I said, I don't actually have any of this card, so I'm not going to be able to test this deck. If you want to, feel free to test it, and let me know how I ended up doing and building it, and what issues it had when playing against other decks. Please feel free to comment that, and then I'll go ahead and make another video fixing some of those issues. Although, if we do fix some of those issues, keep in mind, it might not stick with the theme, so there is that trade-off. Anyhow, for anybody else who'd like to comment in my videos and do deck requests or ideas or themes or whatever to challenge both my building and your deck building so we can all learn a whole lot from each other about how to play this game better, I'm totally down for that. That would be awesome. That'd be so fun. Anyway, so including 3 Starlight Glimmer Apprentice Sorcerers would definitely help this deck a lot. So, Starlight Sorcerers. Now, here's the interesting thing about Starlight. Her purple cards really like control strategy. So this is going to be a really wacky control deck. Because what we're going to end up doing is dealing with a lot of troublemakers. But at the same time, events. So it's going to be fun, but tricky. So let's see. Let's see here. This Starlight Glimmer is a pretty good troublemaker to include, simply because when it's uncovered, you get to move characters for free. And that's pretty good. That saves you 2 AT. And you really only pay 1 AT to play the troublemaker in the first place. I wouldn't recommend using Starlight's cutie marked ability to put her into play face up, because that doesn't work. She would not trigger the uncovered part of her text, and you wouldn't be able to move a character, so don't do that. I'm tempted to include 3 of these, simply because this is an amazing card, but it's also pretty dangerous. If you play this at the wrong time, let's just say you mess everything up. Hence the title Chrono Trigger, I guess, based off that video gamer. Not only is she a villain, so she frightens all the friends that it's her problem, she causes you to banish cards like crazy. At the start of your turn, both you and your opponent banish 2 cards, whatever cards those are, into their own separate piles. And then, when 20 cards are banished that way, all those cards come into play, unless they're a resource or an event. So all the friends and troublemakers go into play, but the events and resources are just permanently banished. Then this card becomes banished. It leads to some crazy situations. Because if you ended up accidentally banishing, like, a Captain Applejack, then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, I gotta decide which cards I'm gonna keep. All the rest are going bye-bye as well. Darn! And then there's also other when this card enters play effects that either will benefit you or hurt you, and it generally just makes a very, very messy board. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because sometimes you just want to reset everything, but anyway. Let's see. As far as our other colors, we do need to get into those. Let me see what other colors we've got to work with. Trixie has a 2-power entry card for orange. That's interesting, because she doesn't have any other orange cards, and there's no other orange cards that Starlight's friend with other than Discord. We might not actually use orange. Oh, but we have to, because Mod is in orange a lot. This is looking like it's going to be an orange, purple, yellow deck, which is kind of unique. It's a very unusual color mix, but that's pretty cool. I'm all for experimenting. Oh, yeah, we need to include Sunburst, since there's only one card of him, and he's a really good card. Calming 2. That's a pretty okay ability, but 2 is pretty good. And then the immediate exhaust to gain 1 AT. That's genius. That's amazing. That's really, really, really good. You want AT generators in your purple decks. It's like a mandatory requirement. And when an opponent confronts the problem that he's at, they lose an AT. So you'll always be at least 1 AT ahead of them, if not maybe 2, which is pretty good. So Sunburst is definitely going to be included, but that means we need more yellow entry in order to play him. So the only other friend who has yellow entry is Thorax, which is perfectly fine because he's a 2 for 2. That's really good, and his experienced is pretty helpful. That means that if we were to accidentally lose him to a discard pile or something, well, if we found him again, adding that would just increase his power. He could potentially get up to a total of 4 yellow power, and you only pay 2 to play him, which is pretty amazing. So that'll get our yellow rec, but we do need more yellow rec, because 3 isn't going to be enough. We want at least 6, maybe 5. Discord Gone Cuckoo, that's our other yellow entry option, isn't it? Yeah, unless we did this, but that would be pink, and that's kind of strange. Let's see. I mean, it's an okay card. It's not the greatest because it's 3 for 2. You don't generally want to be paying more AT for power unless it's an amazing, amazing ability. But the Chaos effect is decent. And this is the only one that fits the theme. So Discord's going in the deck. Discord! My voice is a little raw right now for some reason. Otherwise I would totally start singing songs. Ah, what the hey. Discord, whatever did we do to make you take a world away? Okay. So then we need orange entry. Let's see. Mod doesn't actually have any cards that are orange entry except for her main, so that doesn't work too well for us. Discord, I know, also is orange. Again, the 3 for 2, not ideal, but for the theme, that's fine. Let's see. Thorax is only in yellow. Trixie, right. Trixie is good. Oops, that's not how you spell Trixie, that's Trixie. Trixie would be mad at me for spelling it. Why can't I spell her name right now? Sorry about that. She would totally get annoyed at me for that. Alright, so we've got our 6 entry for orange, 6 entry for yellow. That's all our secondary colors covered. That's not too bad. But now we have a new problem. What is the rest of the deck gonna do? We have space for 24 more cards. Alright, the problem deck is going to be equally important because we want low to confront problems, but we want problems with good abilities. Ugh, that's going to be tricky, especially with purple, because purple likes to play control, and those usually have higher confront requirements. Like this one. Usually in a purple deck, I would automatically include this one, because when it enters play you get an AT, which is really good. But that 6 purple requirement, that would require us to have our main Starlight there, and either a mix of this Apprentice Starlight and Sunburst, or a whole bunch of characters there, and that's just a lot of AT for moving. Perhaps Trixie could fix that, actually. She has a lot of cards that when they enter play, you get a lot of power benefit. That could work. Like this one. The Great and Powerful Show Off! But that would require us to have events in our hand. Events are good to include in the deck. We definitely need some space for events. That doesn't help with power. That moves opposing characters, which is pretty good. Okay, this is amazing, though. When you play an event, double discards power till the end of the turn. Chances are you're going to play at least one event a turn. So she'd be 2 for 4 power. That's pretty good. But her 3 rack is... Ugh. This is going to be tricky. This is a pretty good card to include, actually. Look, when you play an event, one of your characters, or troublemakers, gets +2 power until the end of the turn. So you could both help you and lock your opponent down. Plus, it's got Eccentric too. I think she could go in the deck. Yeah. We might have to cut out the white. We're not going to do that. Oh, Trixie Troublemaker. Absolutely. She's amazing. Just make sure not to play your own friends to her, or they'll lose abilities, and that's just sad. But very good at keeping your opponent down. Let's see. What about Discord? What could he help us with? Oh, Discord Wrathful. Oh, that could be fun. That could be really fun. If we've got some interplay abilities, that could be really, really fun. Plus, when it enters play, you move an opposing character home, which is pretty good. That would not help you. That could be dangerous. Let's see. Let's go back to Starlight. Oh yeah! This is pretty funny. You could include her. Probably not more than 2. Actually, probably not more than 2 of Trixie either, because of the wreck. But look, when you play an event, you can exhaust her and a number of any other unicorn friends equal to the event's cost to copy its effects. Depending on what event you're playing, that could be either really expensive or really, really easy. Most of the purple events actually only cost 1 to 2 AT, so that's just 2 unicorn characters plus this card exhausted, and then you could basically play twice that event, which is pretty cool, because that could do some fun things. Especially when combined with Trixie, because then you could either give her +2 power or Troublemaker +2 power. I think the deck is starting to take shape here. I don't like including these because they're so expensive and so hard to play and so much wreck, but I think maybe 1 would help. Just 1. Just 1. This could be pretty good. Why not include her? She's, her abilities are pretty crazy. It's basically the Professor Twilight Sparkle main in a friend form. Because you could just pay 1 to give that +2, to give her +2 power. Oh, no. Your Troublemaker's +2 power till the end of turn. So yeah, it's basically the Twilight Sparkle, Professor Sparkle main, but in friend form. Plus she has Prepared, which is pretty good. But of course there's lots of friend removal in pink right now, so that... You can't remove the main character. That creates an illegal deck. That's just... no. This is pretty good too, actually. Big Booster. Boosted main characters here, that problem can't be confronted. If you're playing against a lot of, Thorax mains, then they're gonna really dislike you for playing that card. Let's see. That 3 wreck really kills this card. If it was 1 wreck, this would be amazing! But no. Not gonna include that. Let's see, what... What else could we do? We might need this extra purple entry just for the sake of extra purple. Because of the... Oh, but we're running out of card space. Maybe just 2 of those. Because of the fact that we're not going to actually want to boost Starlight very soon. Let's see. The rest of these are in the wrong colors. This would be pretty fun to do shenanigans with if we were playing pink. Sunburst we got. Probably close that. Mod. Yes. There's some fun stuff we could do with mod. What could we do with mod? Mod Pie Not Amused is an amazing, amazing card. She can't be frightened. And then when she has at least 4 power, your friends can't be frightened. So any of your friends can't be frightened. Which... With Trixie, you could put +2 power on her so that your friends can't be frightened. And Orange has a lot of ways of making lots of power counters. Question is, how else would you get power counters on her? I don't see a way we're going to be able to do that outside of playing events. You know what? It's time to take a look at some events. It's time to look at some events. Purple. Okay. We need events that are cheap, like Napcakes. Napcakes is great. Portal is also pretty good, but we don't have a lot of when this card enters playability, so we might need to cut Discord Wrathful. Special Beam Cannon, because resources. You always have to have resource removal. Actually, Luna's Future would be better for that, because then we could banish a friend until the end of turn, so kind of like a portal. And we could put power counters on a troublemaker and get rid of a resource. That's better. Plus, it's technically got Starlight in that picture. She's just playing a Snowfall Frost. Let's see, what else have we got? Similar Duplexus might help. Ah, but that wreck. Ugh. Why are all the cards that we could use so wreck expensive? I hope you don't mind that I'm including events that don't have Starlight in it. Because, well, there's not a lot of events with Starlight in it. That might help. But there's more useful things, like Frozen and Magicite's amazing. But we're running out of deck space. Let's take a look at our other colors. What does yellow have? Yeah, what does yellow give us? Yellow could give us... Ooh, Turning Point. Ooh, Turning Point. That's an amazing card. If your opponent's playing some sort of farm or control deck, you could just steal their troublemakers or get rid of them altogether. It would require 3 yellow wreck, so I think only 2 would be necessary. Plus, it's got Starlight on it. Friends Are Always There is pretty good, too. Again, dismissing a resource or gaining control of opposing troublemaker, or putting 3 critter friend tokens into play. That could probably help. But the challenge is the wreck. They're both 3 wrecks, so we'd need a lot of yellow in play already. Yeah, consistency might be an issue with this deck. Bailout would be good. Just in general. Burst of Strength. Oh, Burst of Strength. Oh, but that requires 4 orange. Ooh. This card isn't used that much, but this might actually work. 1 apple wreck isn't that hard to get. And you get 3 power orange out of it. Are there other orange cards that could give us power counters for cheaper, though? This one. But that's again 3 orange rack. This one's cheaper and probably better, but it's still got that 3 orange rack. Why? We could include maybe 2 of those. Okay, we're gonna have to start cutting cards. Oh, we don't even have our other orange cards in here yet. What am I doing? We need mod. We need to include mod. Poor mod. That's not how you spell. Oh wait, no, I have it on events, that's why. We need mod. This is also an amazing mod, but the catch is it's a promotional foil card. I don't know if you'd have that, because promotional foils are kind of harder to get, but it's basically limestone pie in a little bit more complex wording. Mod pie counteroffer would be amazing, but again, 3 rec. By not amused could work. Mod pie just a pebble could work to get us a lot, actually, a lot of orange rec. We'll include 3 of her, and like 1 of each of these. Oh, maybe 2. Okay, well now we're getting ridiculous, because look, our deck is way over card size already. Okay, think. What are we gonna do? What could we cut? This is just gonna be one of those fun decks, because I'm not seeing this being super ultra competitive. It's decent. But it's... It actually reminds me of a deck I tried to run in the core constructed tournament that Commentaries Magic is doing. The Coco tournament, the first one. I was trying to do a yellow... or I get English. A yellow, purple, white. With Thorax. It kind of worked, but aggro decks always outraced me, so I just lost a lot. I think those colors just don't work as well as I think they could work, I just didn't do it right. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20. Let's see. We need maybe 2 of those. Cutting cards is going to be tricky from this. Kind of nap cakes. This one also has a resource dismissal, so we can cut Luna's future. 4 more cards. Yikes. I don't want to cut a Starlight here. She only has 1 rec to play. We should probably increase that and decrease... No, we could decrease... No, not that one. We could take out that Starlight. There we go. We could... Oh, let me think. Didn't even look at any yellow friends, did we? Mod is not in yellow. A card that would really save us a lot of AT in moving is Day Shift, which is a really, really amazing card. So we could include 2 copies of that. Princess Celestia knows Starlight, doesn't she? That counts. It counts. I'm just trying to make it, you know, slightly more effective. Starlight isn't in any of these. That's sad. Fluttershy! You need to help Starlight more. Come on. Okay, well, there's a picture with both of them, but that's before she was reformed. Actually, that's not a bad problem to run. Harder to confront on our opponent's side, not too bad on our side, and it stops them from playing friends with 3 or more power. Sure, we'll run that problem. Just stumble across the problems that we're gonna use. Sure, why not? I'm just gonna assume you're wanting a Harmony deck because a lot of these cards are from Absolute Discord, so you're gonna need to play it in Harmony format. No. Mm-mm. No. No. Uh-uh. Oh, this is tricky. This would be a pretty good starting problem, actually. Assuming you have yellow. We'll just include 1. Actually, let's go ahead and work on the problem deck a bit. Take a break from thinking of the main deck and work on this a bit. That can work as a starting problem too. That would hurt us too much. That doesn't help. That doesn't really help. -1 to play events for the player with the most unicorns here. Well, Trixie and Starlight are unicorns. -1 to play events. Which would then in turn enable you to pay less. Oh, but you gotta have the unicorn characters there. Well, that's still not too bad. I think that could work. That would be fun. Oh look, I'm playing Napcakes for free because my unicorns are there. Oh look, I get to exhaust Starlight and copy its effects. Oh look, I can clear your board of ponies now. Let's see. Okay, these are pretty good cards, but they're just so hard to confront. Exhaust our main to gain 1. That would help if we weren't trying to keep her power applied to things. Yeah, purple really doesn't have good cards for us at the moment. Let's take a look at orange. What does orange have? Orange has... Oh, that's interesting. No, that would hurt. That could work. Just giving you multiple starting problem options so that you can... Oh, but there's so many starting problems that don't have any color requirements. We'll use those. Let's see. Earth Pony characters. The only Earth Ponies you have are Mod. That wouldn't really work too well. Oh, wait, and Sunburst. No. That's a very specific situation. Characters having stubborn is helpful, but these are all pretty high to confront. I think we're going to go to non-color problems. Concerning cutie mark, obvious. Searching high and low, obvious. We can include 2 more cards. Let's see. 4 isn't bad. Plus the 0 bonus makes sure your opponent doesn't score points off it. That would hurt us because we're running a tricolor. Hold on a sec. Okay, back. Had to pull my nose. Okay, yeah, that's a fun problem to run. Oh, but that's harder to confront. Trading traditions is usually really good, but that's, again, harder to confront for us. Since this is a control deck, we might as well run two of those. Actually, one of those and one of those. Sure, yeah, that seems pretty good. Lots of options for starting problems. Based off what deck you're going against, you could decide which one you want to start with. Don't start with this one if you know your opponent is playing Skystar. Because you are not playing Skystar, and that will just make your opponent win by a long shot. Trust me. Now, if you were playing Skystar, go for it. It's a little bit of a 50-50 risk on who will get the extra point. Anyway, back to our regular deck. What are we going to fix? We have to get rid of 5 cards now. Ugh. I don't want to cut any of the troublemakers. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, derp. There's color fixing resources. That could fix a lot of our issues right now. Motivational speech, singing barrel. Those sorts of things will really help. We could include that and cut Discord. Because of the multicolor use it has. That gets us 6 entry in each. That works pretty well. Oh, look at that. We're down to only 2 cards to get rid of now. That's much more manageable. Let's see. What, though? What shall we get rid of? We could... This is a nice deck challenge. A very nice one. Now, I don't think Starlight Glimmer is on any resources, so... Oh, well, no, I take that back. She's on a few, but they're not really helpful to our cause, so we're going to ignore them. I don't think she's on any yellow ones. No, she's not. I don't think she's on any orange ones. Oh, actually she is, but that one's, again, not helpful to our deck strategy. That would hurt way too much. Yeah, okay, so we don't need to worry about that. We could just cut one of each of these entry, because we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 theoretical entry. That could work. Oh, actually we'd have 9. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now that I got the deck decently constructed, that's a pretty low flip average. Hopefully you're not trying to win too many face-offs. What I'll do is I'll copy the code, put it into a new, or we'll just do this one, into the hand simulator. Let's simulate, emulate. Ah, look, opening hand. We've got our entry into orange. We've got a card we can play for purple to get us into these other purple cards. We have a useless yellow card because we don't have any yellow entry, but at some point we'd reach our yellow, so that's not too bad. It'd just be useful for later. Okay, test 2. Orange entry again, that's good. Extra purple, that's good. Why does Day Shift keep showing up without yellow entry? That's boring. That's a problem. We've got enough of those to confront. Okay. Generate another hand. Oh, there's Thorax, which enables us to play Sunburst, which enables us to... Oh, yeah, that can work. Again, orange entry. Plenty of purple. That works. Orange entry. Oh, we got our troublemakers up. Yellow for... Yeah, this is pretty consistent. Okay, this is our first bad hand. This would be a hand that you would mulligan because you don't have any entry into your second into any of your other colors. How about this one? Oh, we got our barrel. That's important. Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Doubled entry, actually. That's really good. We'd have all our colors at that point. There's our barrel again. That's perfect. Barrel could be used multiple times to get all the colors you could ever need at any given one turn. You just got to pay one for it every time and remember to exhaust it and return it to your hand. But just make sure you know what you're doing with those colors ahead of time so you don't waste it when you don't waste an AT that you could have used to do some of your bigger plans with your colors that you're naming. Yep. I've only seen one hand so far that doesn't have any entry. And, oh, okay, two hands. So this should work three hands. Pretty well. As far as getting into the colors that we need. Okay, yeah, it passes the entry test. Actually, what I usually like to do, and usually I have a sheet of paper to do this, but we can use Notepad. Notepad is just as good, I guess, in this instance. NE means no entry, and E means entry. What I like to do is calculate a little bit more mathematically the ratios of entry to no entry. So I usually refresh the site just in case, paste the link in again, generate a hand. We have entry. So I put some form of mark there. I'll just stick in... we'll just do numbers then. It's easier. This one does not have entry. So, this could take a little while. It's okay. Generate. Again, no entry. That's not a good sign. Entry, there we go. There we go. Seems pretty even at the moment. Again, no entry. This is a bad sign. This probably means we gotta fix that. Oh, there's our entry. This is weird. It's never usually this even. There we go. There's entry again. Yeah, entry. As long as entry starts winning out over not having entry for opening hands, we're good. And you'll notice it only gives you 6 cards, but if you're not going first, you'll have 7, so that increases the chances again, which is important. Oh, there we go again. More entry again. No entry that time. This isn't looking like too good of a... Okay, there we go. Yep. You want to do this a lot of times to get a good average representation. There we go. Oh. That's no entry into our secondary colors, though. Or second and third colors, though, so I won't count that one. There, that one's good. It's a lot easier to do this on paper. I just needed to show you guys what I usually do for figuring this out. That's another bad one. Why? Okay. We'll keep going a little bit. There we go. Yep. Good there. Hey, a day shift with a thorax. Ideal. Ideal. It's not ideal at all. That's terrible. Why? That's also terrible. No. Alright. Then we go into the calculator. So whatever 9 plus 14 is, it's too tired, I don't want to do math. 23, okay, so then we do 14 out of 23, and that's 60% chance of getting entry. That's pretty terrible. We gotta fix that. Alright. Back to the deck drawing board, so to speak. So we need more color fixers. I'm thinking 3 motivational speeches will fix that. And as a result, we could cut... What could we cut? We gotta cut 3 cards. we are already running so few troublemakers that our troublemaker strategy is kind of pointless. Unless if we cut more of those, that doesn't work. Ugh. This is a challenge. Not saying it won't work, but it's not easy. We increase those again. I cut speech down to 2. Barrel down to 2? That kind of averages it all out, right? Or maybe just... Oh, wrong one. 3 cards? I think we can cut the purple. Maybe we can cut the... Yeah, it's okay if we have more than 45 cards, as long as our entry ratio is still pretty good. Let's try that. Let's try that. Refresh. Paste the link. Generate a hand. Yay, we have entry. And we reset our numbers for this. There we go. Generate. Entry. There we go. Generate. Entry. There we go. Oh, hey, 3 for 0 so far. That's real good. Entry. There we go. Okay, this is looking a bit... Oh, that's not cool. Oops. Well, yep. As long as you have a barrel or a speech in hand, you're good, even if you don't have a vanilla card, so to speak. By vanilla, I mean one that doesn't require any colors in play to play it. Kind of like vanilla Minecraft, if you've ever heard that term. Well, this is looking like better ratios, at least. Sorry if this ends up being an extra long video. Oh, 90, no. Wish. But these things do take time to build, especially when you're making me restrict to certain characters. It's a cool challenge. I like it. I would have liked to include some Twilight in there, because Starlight is pretty close to Twilight, probably closer than any of the other main 6, to be honest. And because Twilight is amazing. But this is your deck, and I will follow your rules. This is looking much more consistent. And it's 16 cards, so you'll have one more than your opponent usually will. Just don't give that secret away. JK. I've run plenty of 51, 52 card decks. They're tricky to get to work consistently, but that's, you know, the hardest part about it. Okay, so we're at 25 cards, but we have 21 out of 25. Oh, look! 84% chance of getting entry with 6 cards, and if you go second, you're probably still more likely to get an entry, but of course don't keep a hand that doesn't have it already in there. Like that. That's a pretty terrible time to draw that card, but anyway, yeah, wow, okay. That's much better. I think this could work now. Unfortunately, you don't have very many troublemakers. I would have liked to include some Changeling Mimics, or... what are the other good ones? The other Starlight Glimmer Ultra Rare. where it forces all characters to 2 power, because most of our characters here are actually at 2 power, so that wouldn't really matter to us. Actually, there's not much of a chance of us getting Maud up to 4 power, so she wouldn't be as helpful as something else. Let's go ahead and stick in another troublemaker instead. We could try putting in... yeah, she's pretty effective. Sure, yeah. I think that works. F5, refresh. Here is our final deck. This seems pretty good. Again, this is a Harmony deck because we've got cards from Crystal Games and Absolute Discord. Nothing earlier than that, though. That's kind of unusual. Why is there a missing space here? I feel like that should be a card. Do we have all 46 here? I don't think we do. Why does it do that? That's so weird. Try this again. Again, that blank space. What? Ponyhead. What? You're going weird. Alright, let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Okay, never mind. It's just leaving a blank space for some reason. Okay, yeah. So there you go. That's what I was able to come up with. To be honest, Starlight Glimmer as a main isn't the greatest, despite that she is an ultra rare. And I think that's just because we don't have enough cards that work well enough with her abilities yet. You probably could have built a stronger deck had you chosen one of her friends as main. Thorax especially. Or even Discord has some decent mains. Maud is an amazing main, but... oh, I closed that page. But, yeah. Since you requested Starlight as the main, this is what we came up with, which is pretty cool. Again, not the strongest deck, not the best deck, but definitely got some tools to help you lock down some problems and confront slowly to win. Like a control deck should. And if all that fails, you can always just go crazy with Day Shift and Mod and extra power and just shoving characters to problems to confront them because they're all relatively low confront requirements. So this is kind of a weird hybrid control aggro tricolor mid-range deck at best. But yeah, this was a fun little challenge. Thanks for that. Hope you enjoy this video, and I don't want to keep it going too much longer. I'll go ahead and post the deck list in the description so you can go ahead and build it and test it. Let me know how it does, and then if some things just aren't working, we can tweak it in another video. But that's all for now, everypony. I need to start preparing to react to Season 8. I intend to do that ASAP. I just haven't had time. Because school. And musicals to write for, and lots of other stuff. Toodles!